Willowbrook man admits to robbing banks while on parole for robbing banks? Huh. Yeah. Well, I've got those charges. Maybe I'll just have them lump everything up into one. In the meantime, I can, go out and support myself and my drug addictions or whatever it is that I need cashola for, that I can go in and, the cash is insured at the local federal bank. So this isn't a big deal. Plus, I'm already up on charges. So I just figured, what the hell? Let's go rob a few more. Why not? It's California. It's what we're doing. All right. Literally, this is what this guy is doing. How is this guy not already behind bars? Let's get into it. Let's check it out. All right. Willowbrook. Where is Willowbrook? It is close to Compton. It is close to Watts. It is just to the north and east of the Hustler Casino and the Larry Flint Lucky Lady Casino, I believe. I looked at a Google map. I just had to share those features for you. You get an idea where it is. It's an unincorporated area. And apparently, if you're in the market to, rob a bank, that's where you go. A man from Willowbrook pleaded guilty to federal charges for robbing several banks in the Los Angeles area while out on supervised release for previous bank robbery convictions. Okay, so what thought process do you go through? All right, I'm on supervised release. I know what's going to happen if I get caught. And yet I'm just going to keep going back to this well, because this well, it's got a lot of water in it. We're just going to go and we're just going to scoop it out, rob those banks. Rickey Lewis, 53, pleaded guilty to 3 counts of bank robbery and 1 count of attempted bank robbery in connection to the 6-day crime spree that happened in January 2019. Lewis admitted to committing 3 robberies from January 22nd to January 28th. According to the United States Department of Justice, he robbed 2 JPM Morgan Chase Bank branches in Gardenia and an International City Bank branch in Long Beach during the spree. He also admitted to trying to rob a Bank of America branch in Downey. This guy is all over LA, isn't he? He's all over California. Kind of reminds you of Point Break, the movie with Keanu Reeves and Gary Busey and the dudes from the Red Hot Chili Peppers and the gal. What's the gal's name? I forget. That was an epic movie. That was just a great movie. I don't care what you say. It was great. And just, yeah. Bank robbers that surf. Yeah. Crazy stuff, right? During those robberies, Lewis threatened to shoot the bank employees, although it was not apparent that he was carrying a gun. Doesn't matter, does it? You're in there robbing a bank. Remember when robbing a bank used to be such a prevalent thing? It used to be just, it happened all the time. And then law enforcement and the feds basically got smart and said, all right, we're going to make the, sentencing for robbing a bank high enough where people are going to be deterred from doing such things. Well, this guy apparently didn't get the memo. He didn't get the message, right? Despite covering his fingers with clear tape, that's a good one. That's strong effort. Investigators recovered a partial print at one of the crime scenes that matched Lewis's palm print. Uh-oh. You didn't think it all the way through. Apparently you didn't do your Google research. Next time, maybe work on the palms. Get those palms covered up. Lewis was already known to law enforcement as he was on supervised release at the time for a string of robberies across the LA area more than a decade prior. All right, so how many crimes did he get away with that people aren't tagging him with? Probably a handful, right? Because you don't just pop up a decade later. All right, I need some cash. I need some cashola. I've been living the straight and narrow life this whole time. That's just not how this story goes, right? In 2006, he was convicted of 6 bank robberies committed in South LA and Inglewood, Department of Justice said. 6. How is this guy still running around? Why did they release him? Did somebody figure, well, he's been through a lot of psychological evaluation and we think his propensity to rob another bank again is low to non-existent. Let's let him out. Plus, the prisons are kind of full and this guy hasn't, just going to, how's that work? How's this guy even running around? His 2019 bank robbery spree netted him only $4,000 in cash, $4,035 in cash. It's unclear how much he's stolen throughout his career. I mean, he's got popped for a bunch of these. He's not getting a ton of cash. This guy he's not a successful bank robber, is he? He needs to do some more reimagining and rethinking his career. He is due back in court in January 2023 and could face as much as 20 years in prison for each charge. Good. I hope he gets it. Throw him in jail, lock up throw away the key. This guy's a bad hombre. He deserves to be in prison for as long as it takes, where he's so old that he is not capable of robbing a bank. Because he needs to be taken out of society. He has proven multiple times here he should not be floating around in society, allowed to just do his thing. And yet the court system seems, it's okay. I mean, you robbed 6 before, and we caught you for that, but we believe that you have paid your debt to society and you should be able to just wander around. Here's some supervised release. Be a good human being. And you know what? Don't rob any more banks. And that's exactly what he does. He goes out, he goes to that well just a few more times. These are the guys you just got to lock up and say, yep, nope. Parole, nope. Don't care. You're a menace to society. You're stealing from banks. Now, some people might say, well, the banks make so much money, they deserve it. People get killed and injured in bank robberies. And, you just can't have people in a bank having it be robbed, like any store, right? Like any store. You can't have that going on. The banks at one time were hit so hard. Right now, here in the state of Washington, we just went through a major deal where just about every one of our marijuana dispensaries, weed stores, got hit with armed robbery. I mean, it was most all of them now, from my understanding, have a armed security guard. They've got things just like the banks do in some of these neighborhoods, where they've got a camera looking down on you at the front door. And if you look like you're halfway a responsible citizen, they're going to buzz you in. But you got to get buzzed in now, or there's somebody right there at the front door taking your ID and, letting you in. Hey, come into our place of business, but not if you're going to rob the place. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you got so much cash in these marijuana stores because they're not legal on the federal level. Marijuana is still an illegal substance on the federal level. And so anything federally related, including the banking system, you can't put your money in. They can't access the banking system. That to me is a real failure of government, but it's the risk you take when your business is on the outer lying edge of reasonable. If you've got a business that doesn't qualify for federal funding, if you've got a business that isn't legal on the federal end of things, when you've got a business that the feds can come in and take down at any given point in time and because, it's not legal, that's a business that I don't want to be involved in and I can't recommend to others. Hey, it's a good idea. Why don't you just roll the dice, see how that goes? And being robbed because you've got too much cash because you can't put it in a regular banking system, that is unfortunately the byproduct of dealing with an industry that is not yet legal. And so they got to work through that. And that's why I've always said, hey, if you want to believe marijuana to be, legalize it, tax it, whatever, but also realize there's an enormous risk to running a business that isn't 100% legal. And a lot of folks want to say, yeah, but on the state level it is. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But look at the consequences these guys running these businesses are encountering. Yeah, it's not good. But back to this guy, bank robbery spree, gets him $4,035 in 2019. Not worth it. I mean, to this guy, maybe it's worth the risk of doing that. However, for the rest of us, tax-paying citizens that don't go around robbing banks, this makes no sense at all. And yet, the guy's back out on the street. How does that work? That's the thing that to me is like, lock that dude up. Lock him up. Keep him in prison for as long as it takes. You got to get some of these people off the streets. One of my earlier podcasts today was a guy down in, where was it? I think it was California as well. He's out on parole and he smacks a guy in the head with a hammer. You just got a bunch of nut jobs running around, right? Another podcast today was a homeless dude throwing poop at a business owner. This guy is known for just defecating on the sidewalk in front of this guy's business, which is a bar, poops in a bag, and then he throws poop at the business owner's vehicle in just, point blank range, just poop. And it's caught on camera because they're interviewing with a reporter. Imagine being that reporter. Sir, you just threw poop at the business establishment owner. Could you tell us why? Microphone into his face. And he literally does answer and gives a bunch of gibberish. Makes no sense. What was one of the things? I'm paralyzed. Well, you weren't paralyzed when you launched that little poopy throw, were you? No, you got a bunch of people that shouldn't be on the streets, including this guy who's out on supervised parole for robbing banks, who is also, in current time, robbing banks. Got to get some of these guys off the street. Really, really do. Don't know if that's going to happen, though. In the meantime, podcasts for days. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch up on the next one. Bye for now.